So wanted to focus a little bit on the initiatives that we in Bayer are taking regarding sustainability, and large part of it is driven by digitalization. So let me also kind of set a little bit of background, and most of you have seen a few numbers and heard about the topics before, but it's very important to set the context here. So we are living in a world where the population is aging as well as growing. So aging means, yes, good from a health index, but we obviously see more and more diseases, especially in the older age. Growing, we would see additionally 25% of the population, what we have today, in the next 3 odd decades. Then we talk about humanity, or people consuming more and also emitting more. And this is much more than what the earth can recreate. So again, we have heard about it multiple times, but this is just once more to kind of set the context. And what is this leading to is definitely a lot of climate change, water scarcity, loss of biodiversity. How it translates itself on the human index is number one. We also see malnutrition on one hand, but also because of the droughts and the floods, we also see a lot of movement of people, which reduces the access to health and nutrition. So this is, again, just to build the context in the world that we are living in. Now, here I want to talk a little bit about Bayer as an organization and where we are focusing on. So primarily starting off with our vision, which is health for all and hunger for none. This is actually catering to one of the most fundamental needs of mankind. And how we do it is leveraging science for a better life. So we have 3 divisions: crop science, pharmaceutical, and consumer health, which and with slightly different focus between pharmaceutical and consumer health. But here, at least when we think about the company entirely together, we talk about a few levers which are very, very relevant from a group strategy point of view. Number one, it's about shaping a leader, where we want to allocate our resources to areas where we see value coming in, and also play within the areas within nutrition and healthcare, where we as an organization feel more confident and see, I would say, a lot of unmet needs. Similarly, when we talk about world-class innovation, this is what my previous speaker was also hinting to, focusing on a lot of ecosystem, where we not only work internally in Bayer but with a lot of partners across the world to bring the world to a better place than the previous years. Thirdly, it's about sustainable impact, where we talk about sustainability not only in our business strategy, but also in our day-to-day operations. So where it is already, I would say, a part of our daily operations, and how we measure it, track it with a lot of KPIs. And last but not the least, this is about driving operational performance. And this is not only leveraging digitalization for sustainability and better consumption of the resources, but also to generate profit, which again we owe to our shareholders. Now, diving deep into the topic of sustainability, these are a few examples that I would say I wanted to highlight from Bayer, and we will take a deep dive into the first one. But we are, in a nutshell, we are heavily investing into these digital initiatives, which is in lines with our business strategy. So first one, we talk about digital analytics and using I would say crop protection products and seeds in a more precise way. It is a little bit contrary to our business model. It's not about selling our products in a push-based strategy, but this is leveraging data overall with the help of our platform. And I will talk in a few minutes about FieldView. This is to optimize the usage of crop protection products as well as the seed products. We do it again with the help of the GPS coordinates. We analyze a lot of weather data, but effectively there's lots of data which is used. On one side, we use artificial intelligence, but on the other side, we also use genomics. And this is again used to come up with better seed products, better traits, as well as increase the yield I would say, farms. The third one, which you find here, it is where we have actually copied with pride what most of the logistics companies are doing. So we are using mapping apps to optimize the routes in which our logistics operators work. And obviously, this is something which I would say, where we think we also need to contribute in our own way. Then moving on the right-hand side, we talk about what we are doing on the healthcare side, where instead of always using paper-based product information, we are now providing a lot of information on QR codes. Not only it reduces consumption of paper, which is important, but it also allows more access to information that we have regarding our products. And last but not the least, there's also a special focus to educate women because of our women's healthcare portfolio. This allows them to take informed decisions through key issues throughout their life cycle journey. Again, I heard my previous speaker also talking a little bit about life cycle, but we have products for women which are catering right from the early ages till the later ages, pregnancy, non-pregnancy, etc., etc. And this is where I would say we look at it from a journey, and we want to empower women to take these decisions and provide data wherever possible. Now, this is a deep dive into one of our products, FieldView, which I spoke about, where we are leveraging a lot of data, not only from the farms on one hand, but also I would say using climate data. And this data is used actually by the growers, by the farmers, to do farming more efficiently and sustainability. So not only it increases yield and profitability for growers, which is important. So using the same amount, same land to provide more for people, and this will feed the generations here. But it's also about reducing the carbon footprint and ecological the runoff that comes from farms by use of chemicals. And how we do it, again, leveraging data through the collection of data, as I said, not only the climate data, but individually in the different fields, the spraying patterns, for example, the tillage patterns, etc., etc. And secondly, this how we do it is we leverage this information using data analytics and artificial intelligence. We are seeing what's the best way to kind of do the spraying, do the tillage, and provide those recommendations to the growers. This is one more slide on the field view, but effectively three comments here, or this is the process explaining. I will not get into the deep of this, but here we are saying, at least for the growers, there's one place where all the data is available using our FieldView platform. But secondly, this can be used and processed into real insights for the farmers, who can see how to optimize the inputs and increase the yields from their farms. Now, thinking about how we as Bayer want to contribute to the UN Sustainable Goals, we apply a three-pronged strategy. First one, we are focusing on helping people thrive. That's clearly, I would say, top of mind for us. But the second one is to ensure that the ecological footprint is along the entire value chain, all the way from R&D to product supply to sales. We are reducing our ecological footprint. Last but not the least, something very important to us is to do business responsibly. So this is a three-pronged approach that we are using, and this will also help us to meet our sustainability goals, which are very much in line with the UN Sustainability Development Goals. So if I want to summarize in terms of what we are doing, we are primarily looking at two topics. One is we are taking ecological measures. I spoke about the carbon footprint reduction by using, I would say, overall consumption of the crop protection pesticides that are there. But it's also to conserve the biodiversity. But on the more social measures that we are using is, number one, providing more access to health and nutrition to people, but also, I would say, looking more at gender diversity with a special focus on women empowerment, and this is again reflected in our women healthcare portfolio. So thanks a ton. I'll take a quick pause and back to the facilitator.